Breaking right now, Prince Harry has been cast aside by one of his former allies and friends who appeared in his Netflix series and thrown under the bus by another as this Centre Bali charity racism, harassment, bullying and cover-up scandal gets worse by the hour. Now, central to this story is the treatment of the charity chief, a very wonderful woman called Dr. Sophie Chandoka, by Meghan Markle. And this is new footage which we have seen today, which shows her acting like a, quote, mean girl by ignoring the accomplished woman of colour at the charity event, the Centre Bali charity event, which sparked this big bust-up because, of course, when Dr. Sophie refused to go public to defend Meghan Markle's behaviour, that's when Harry went mad. Meanwhile, Harry's friend and apparent ally, Alex Rayner, he is an old Etonian school pal of the prince who went to the North Pole with him in 2012, has made the situation even more grim. He told the Daily Mail overnight, H is very happy for me to speak for him about how he feels about this awful situation. He is just beyond heartbroken and flabbergasted that the charity he founded as a teenager has been taken hostage by the chair. It feels tantamount to a hostile takeover. It feels like Dr. Sophie had her nose put out of joint because she was not the most important woman of colour on the stage. There is an undercurrent of stink here because Meghan showed up and it is coming from her. Dr. Sophie, the chair, should never have let that narrative take hold that Meghan had caused an issue. If that narrative did take hold, then I would argue it is down to the chair to put it right. They could have issued a statement and put a stop to it, but they did not. Why? Again, this whole thing smells, it feels planned, and I suspect that the whole thing could only have come from the chair herself. Wow, that is totally tone deaf because I want to show you what happened on stage at that charity event. I covered it at the time. The mainstream media did not, but watch closely because it's not so Dr. Sophie Chandoka who causes an issue, it is Meghan Markle.
Thank you very much, Andrew Tucker, for putting on such a great day here at Browns Polo Club. Again, a big thank you to all those who provided horses.
Meanwhile, Kahindi Andrew, a Harry and Meghan ally, he's actually a revolting guy, but he appeared on their Netflix show, has now brutally turned on Harry, suggesting that he probably is racist. So we're going to get analysis from Rafe Hadel-Manku and Alex Phillips imminently, but first I just want you to watch what he had to say to Piers Morgan.
None of this is very good, is it?
It is undoubted that when Harry and Meghan were in the family, they experienced problems, as anybody would expect. That royal family is one of the symbols of white supremacy, is deeply racist, so they experienced that. It is also true that Prince Harry is a representative of that symbol of white supremacy. What do you expect? Are we actually surprised that someone from the elite, from the aristocracy, went to Africa in his gap year, started a charity, and then acts really pompous and imperial to the black woman who runs it? This is not news. Honestly, this is not news. Two things can be true. They experience racism and they complain about it, and yes, more than likely, Harry is even if these accusations aren't true, it's deeply unlikely that Prince Harry has not acted in a colonial manner in his pet project on the African continent. So,
Isn't this great? It's the woke eating itself. This is why Prince Harry and Meghan Markle were so stupid to align themselves with a man like Kahindi Andrew. He hadn't finished.
this is constant harassment that she's got. And like I said, I'm not a big fan. And I would also stress, I think it's important.
A leaked clip, now rapidly gaining traction online, reveals a tense moment involving Meghan Markle at a Los Angeles charity event. The footage, provided by a former volunteer, depicts her appearing cold, dismissive, and clearly irritated during a private exchange with the organization's leader. Onlookers claim Meghan abruptly interrupted the woman, rolled her eyes, and was heard saying, "Let's not waste time." This initial incident was unsettling, but what followed truly amplified concerns. Sources indicate that Meghan's behavior left the charity team deeply uncomfortable. with one staff member remarking it was the most awkward interaction we've ever had with a public figure. But the most significant development? Prince Harry was reportedly furious.
Rafe Hadelman-Coote, this is an astonishing story on so many levels. Where do you want to start?
Good. Well, let's start with the odious Hindi Andrews, the most vile and despicable race grifter out there. And there's quite a crowded series of contestants for that title. Look, whether or not the accusations made against Harry and Meghan are true, I think most viewers of this channel will be feeling a great degree of schadenfreude that they are finally getting a taste of their own medicine, finding themselves now in precisely the position they put the royal family in with their baseless accusations of racism and bullying as well. And it may just very well be that, you know, Meghan has met more than her match in Dr. Chandauka here, who had a very impressive career, let's remember. This is not some thin-skinned snowflake who takes offense very quickly. And this is a corporate finance lawyer, ran internationally departments for Morgan Stanley, an international bank, set up a biotech company. She's an entrepreneur with that. Senior figure in Meta, which owns Instagram and Facebook. This is a very, very senior and serious figure. And if she feels that if she wanted to launch a lawsuit, which she does, she must understand that she has the legal expertise to know that it's based upon some firm footing here. So I would be very worried if I was not only Prince Harry, but if I was a member of his board of trustees. And also, and the irony here, of course, is that this is not some conservative woman. She's also woke in herself. She wanted to turn Sentebale into a charity focused upon health, wealth, and climate resilience throughout Africa, having said, you know, having HIV/AIDS is no longer a death sentence. We need to expand our mission. And of course, she's now accusing Prince Harry of misogynoir. Now, misogynoir is a new term to me, but it means misogyny against black women. Now, that's precisely the sort of term you would have expected Meghan to come up with.
Gordon Ramsay.
And ironically, it's now being used against her husband as well. I mean, this is like watching an episode of Woke Gladiators, I would say here.
Yes,
or Woke Grievance Gladiators.
And I am going to enjoy it. I am going to enjoy it.
Alex
Phillips, what I found most astonishing about
nonsense.
this line from Alex Rayner, who is claiming that he is speaking on behalf of Prince Harry, they're certainly friends, is that he said it feels like Dr. Chandauka had her nose pointed out of joint because she was not the most important woman of colour on the stage. Now, that's quite a despicable thing to say, isn't it? He's suggesting that Dr. Sophie Chandauka is in some way jealous of Meghan Markle. Now, this is a woman who, as Rafe said, has been highly successful in her own career, didn't want to thrust herself in the public spotlight. Indeed, when Harry wanted her to speak out publicly, she didn't do so. So I just feel that's an outrageous claim.
Yeah, it is an outrageous claim. I mean, what has Meghan Markle done with her life? She opened some boxes on that prize show, whatever.
Oh, Deal or No Deal.
Dressed like a slapper, and she was in a pretty low-grade rubbish American sitcom, and then she, you know, pursued Harry doggedly because she was so desperate to be connected to somebody of celebrity status, so desperate to play the part of a royal. And then what's she done? She's just lounging around in Montecito, cooking rubbish food for Netflix, failing in all of her projects. So, you know, she's a bit low grade in my opinion. I'd much rather be mates with that other woman who's pretty impressive sounding. But this is always what happens, isn't it? Harry is so obsessed with Meghan. It's so peculiar.